Ariana Grande just released her newest album, Petal, this last Friday, and it was a banger. I am not gonna lie, I loved this album. Today I'm going to tell you why I loved it, from the production to the vocals to the music video for Petal. Welcome to the Music by Mads podcast, the music podcast for mainstream music lovers. So, we are wasting no time. I'm trying to trim my lengths so that's a little more digestible for people. 15 minutes to 20 minutes. We're going to do this. So let's get going for Kiss Me. Kiss Me was such a good intro. Like, I don't know how to, like, it's ethereal. It's atmospheric. It was, wow. It was just like, it screamed album intro to me from the very first moment, and it really felt like you were going somewhere from the very first moments that those synths started and the atmosphere was being built. As soon as the song really kicked off and got going, it was very clear that this album was going to be good. And I'm just going to say it, this album was fantastic. And I think the first track really sets the tone for how the album's going to go. Her beginning and ending tracks are always just so good. That's one thing I noticed on my full discography listen, was that her beginning and ending tracks were phenomenal every single time. I loved how dark the sounds were, and that is a theme that went on through the entire album, was the dark sound. It was just dark, heavy synth. It was reverby, it was atmospheric. It was really quite a mix of Eternal Sunshine and Dangerous Woman. A lot of people have been saying that it is as if Dangerous Woman and Eternal Sunshine had a baby. Like, that is so cool. I think it's such a phenomenal intro track, phenomenal album. I do wish one thing, I do wish that her vocal was a little more present on a lot of these tracks, but especially this song. I feel like the percussion was a bit loud on a lot of these songs, which is fine. Like, it created a really quite a nice sound. But it was like, if I want to listen to the person who's known for her vocals, I want to listen to the person who's known for their vocals. You know, like, I want to listen to the vocals. So that's my one complaint on the mixing. But that bass really gave this song some beef. It really, like, I think it would have felt so skinny and so flat without such a big beefy bass, you know? Like, it was just, it created this great foundation for the atmosphere. It just made it much easier to create an atmosphere on top of it. Then we've got I almost said Look What You Made Me Do. Wrong album for sure. Hate That I Made You Love Me. Not even similar titles. And I'm really not going to talk about this song because I already did an episode on it when it came out. So if you are wanting to hear my thoughts on Hate That I Made You Love Me and the music video that accompanies that song, please watch this episode. Here's the thumbnail. That's what it looks like on my YouTube and Spotify. And I will link it at the end of the YouTube video. I don't know if I can link... I think I can link other podcast episodes on Spotify, so I will do that. But it is on my profile, so you can see it there. Then we've got the title track, which is Petal. Creepy. Such a creepy song in terms of instrumentals. It's also just a very eerie and it's a delicate topic that she's talking about, and it's the instrumentals aid the theming very well. And I did want to say, actually, I forgot to say this before I moved on. I do think that this album should be getting good attention from the Grammy committee. They are not very kind to Ariana historically, so I'm losing a little hope on that fact, and I'm going to keep my expectations low for the Grammy attention for this album because I think it does deserve Grammy attention. But I'm also going to take the time to self-plug that I'm doing my own Grammy Awards, which is going to be super fun. I'm not sure if I want to call it like something different, or maybe I'll just do the Music by Mads Grammy Awards. Like, I think I might come up with a fun name. Let me know in the comments what you think it should be. But you guys will get to submit your favorites from the Grammy eligibility period, and I will go through, listen to everything, review everything, take notes, do all that, and then I will nominate different albums and songs and things for the categories I describe, I choose. And the rules and submission, like the rules of submission video is going to be That episode is going to be a podcast episode. It's going to come out right after the eligibility period closes, which is the very end of August. So just keep watch for that. Make sure you subscribe and follow and stuff so you know what's going on, because that'll be really great. It's going to be great. Anyways, back to Petal. Creepy. The bass is fantastic, and I love this song. It's so terrifyingly creepy. Those were my thoughts on the song, and I want to spend a lot more time on the music video because I think the visuals went along with her vocals and her sounds very well. The first thing I wrote about the music video is this was eerie. Like, it was meant to be eerie, of course, but it was eerie to watch it. It was kind of crazy. And it was just a very well done visual storytelling. I think it was so brilliantly told throughout this whole video. Of course, there were a lot of concerning comments on the video. Who would have guessed in the climate we are in as fans of Ariana Grande? And I do my best to stay out of these kinds of things because I want to be about the art, unless it's really pertinent to the art, which I do feel it's pertinent to the art right now. And you guys might not like my thoughts on it, but yeah, I think people need to cool it with the concern, because even if you're actually concerned, what you're doing is likely very overwhelming, because it's not just you who's concerned, it's a lot of people. And I don't want to say rightfully so, but rightfully so. I don't want to be one of those people, but rightfully, I think people need to feel justified in their concern, because they can be concerned. But to have millions of people saying that over and over to you, especially if she is working through an eating disorder, specifically, it's a disorder for a reason. Like, her brain is not receiving it that way if she's dealing with an eating disorder. And if she's not, you don't know what other underlying health concerns she could be having that are causing this or aiding in this weight loss. And I think people just need to take a step back and cool it. And it is not your responsibility to be telling someone you don't know personally to be healthier, to start eating, to start doing that. That is the job of her inner circle and her management and those who care about her. If they are not doing those things, then they are failing her if they know what's going on. And if she's not receiving it, she's not receiving it, and we're not going to make it any better. I don't think it's our place. That being said, if you have friends or family who are struggling with an eating disorder, please do your best to get them help, even if you just have to gently push them in the right direction, because sometimes all you can do is be gentle about it, because they won't feel like it's gentle, because it's a disorder. It's called an eating disorder for a reason. Their brain is not working like it should, because they have a skewed image of what they look like and what other people perceive them as. And it's a delicate situation. I've never gone through it, but it's a very delicate situation to go through. So that's my piece on that. And we're done. We're never going to talk about it again. The metaphor in this video was extremely clear, though. And even though people were saying we don't want the older, we just want the healthy one, it's not what she's referring to in this. She's referring to the people who, even if it's not you, again, it's a different situation, but it might not be you, but it's probably someone. People who complain when she reinvents herself while also complaining that she's not changing enough. It happens all the time to musicians, but specifically female artists. Lots, and like Taylor Swift has done that over and over again. And people are always not satisfied. They want the old Taylor, or they want a new Taylor, or they want miserable Taylor, or they want happy Taylor when she's not happy. Like, it happens to every female artist on the planet, and it shouldn't, and we need to change that. But don't pretend it doesn't exist, because it does. Anyways, so Stay is the next song. I love the rhythm of the first verse. I like the staccato against this like watery synth going on in the background. It just like it balances out the continuousness of that synth very well, which gives your ears lots of interest to hook onto and just stay locked in to these songs. That's what I really appreciate, is she's created a world that is just very locked in to what she wants you to hear and like wants you to keep listening to. The harmonies throughout the whole album, but this song was really was like, wow, it's really gorgeous how she's using harmonies to build her atmosphere. I do feel like the percussion has been a little too present on a lot of these songs. And this is one of those songs where I'm like, oh, it's a little sharp into my ear right there. And it kind of blocks out other things. It might just be how my phone mixes it in my headphones and like how those interact. But they're decent headphones. They're not like the greatest headphones on planet Earth, but they're decent headphones. So I think it's safe to say that there's something going on in between those two. Sorry if this feels really fast. I'm really trying to stick between 15 and 20 minutes with my episodes to keep people watching and making it a little easier for me to gain an audience. We can go back to the longer ones eventually. I just gotta tighten it up for now. Anyways, Oh Well is the next one. The sarcastic No Way is so funny. I think it was the second verse, but the sarcastic No Way was really funny to me. And the acapella of the part of the song, there's a part, I think it's right before the chorus, the second or third time, where goes acapella for a verse or two, or a stanza or two, or maybe just a line. It might just be a line. But Sabrina Carpenter does that a lot, and I always love it when she does it, and I'm glad that Ariana did it with one of her songs, because it turned out very nice with the harmonies and everything. This is where I start to appreciate the percussion more, because it takes a back seat a little more as this song progresses, and it just feels a little less sharp and front facing. I feel like it's the right term for that. It feels a little less like it's coming right at your ear, and just feels like it's part of the atmosphere. I keep using atmosphere because I think this album is atmospheric, is one of the best words to describe it, where it's just the sound is one of the most important parts, and you can tell in the way she's not using her voice as a virtuoso as much as she used to. She's using it to create a soundscape, and I really appreciate that. I think I like it. I like it a lot. I don't think I like it. I know I like it, but I think it's very well done and very beautiful. The amount of instrumentals in these songs too have been amazing. I am loving the uptick in instrumental portions in songs again, because I think that has become a little bit of a lost art in pop, and I feel like artists going back to that it just makes me happy. I'm an instrumentalist. I play many instruments, and I just love instrumental parts. They're fun. Yeah, the strings also sound fantastic on this album. Whoever has been doing string arrangements for like every pop artist is a godsend. They are wonderful. I love them with all of my heart. Yeah, then we've got Big Feelings. Back to the creepy instrumentals a little bit, and this is where I really felt like, oh, Dangerous Woman is here. I didn't, like, she described this album as feral, and I was like, like the first 5 songs, I was like, oh yeah, it's feral, it's feral, and then I heard this song and I was like, this is feral. This is where Dangerous Woman is coming out of Ariana Grande. Just with the darker instrumental and the way she's singing on this track, ooh, it's feral. Feral was the correct way to describe this. And then we get really sad with Freak. One of the lyrics that made me just so sad, because I was looking at the lyrics, and it wouldn't have made me feel as sad about it if I wasn't looking at the lyrics, because she says before the chorus, how will it feel, twice. And on the second one, in the lyrics, at least on Spotify, probably everywhere, there are no less than 6 exclamation points at the end of the phrase, which just screams such a sad, like, it just makes the sentiment sad when you look at it that way. Like, how will it feel? Oh my gosh, like, I want that so bad. Like, how is it gonna feel when that happens? Oh, it's just it's sad. It's a sad one. I can't quite pinpoint what relationship this is about, whether it's a relationship between her and a man, or if it's like her and her fans, or if it's a little bit of both, if it's her in the industry, if it's her, like, there's a lot of options, and I feel like with how Ariana Grande prefers to write music, it's a little more ambiguous than a lot of the other artists I like. Like, Taylor Swift is very explicit about it. Olivia Rodrigo, we all know who those songs are about. But with Ariana Grande, it's a little more ambiguous, and I like that it's a little more ambiguous on songs like this, because then it leaves room for your audience's interpretation for themselves, which is really nice. Not that I hate specificity. I do love a specific song, but it's nice to be able to interpret it for your own. And then we've got, the instrumentals on this. They stay the same throughout, and I think they blend in to Warning Signs Interlude. Oh, they blend so well, and I love that she switches from the synth into the guitar. I love her interludes. Saturn's Interlude is one of my favorite. Hopefully it's called that, and I didn't just get that wrong. That's one of my favorites off of Eternal Sunshine. I don't know what it is about her interludes, but they are done so well, and they are such a perfect transition. Like, I barely even realized we switched songs when it started, and then it like transitioned perfectly into what the next song was going to be, but it did take a break at the end, and I really liked that. I cry about the I wish someone could hear me at the very end. That is so sad. And then we've got Like I Do, which is, I think, really what the I wish someone could hear me is part of. And again, Dangerous Woman, Ari, is that you? She's got this, is the darker, it screams Dangerous Woman at me, which is why I put this album so high in her discography rankings, in my personal opinion, obviously. But I think that it's so good. It's just so good. It's delightfully dark. It's just really beautiful. I think that she knocked it out of the park with these instrumentals. I think this is one of her best in terms of soundscapes and building a world based off of your sound. I do feel like this song is partly about her and her fans, specifically because of the line, "You'd need me like I you," because I don't know, I just feel like it's one of those where it's ambiguous again. It could go either way, where I feel like it's partly about her fans, it's partly about a man, it's partly about the like, it could be all of them, it could be one of them, it could be none of them, and we won't know, and we get to interpret it in our own way, and I really like that. This is really where I started to feel like this album just was very heavy. I don't know, when I am reviewing albums, I think a lot about replay value for myself, because if I'm not going to replay this album, it's not going to get as high of a rating. It's one of the aspects that I think is important for people, and it is very subjective, which is why album reviews end up all over the place, but it is something that is important to me, along with a lot of other things that I've talked about previously. This is one of the rare instances where an album I feel like doesn't have a lot of replay value for me, but I still rated it 5 stars. Like, I think this is a fantastic album, and I think that's because it's very heavy, and I would gladly listen to any song off this album over and over again, but it's very heavy, and it's emotionally hit me in a way where I feel like this is not going to be something I come back to super frequently, because it makes me feel down a little bit. So that is the rare exception to the rule of replay value in my reviewing scale. There's lots of exceptions that happen. It's so I can rate as many albums as possible with 5 stars, because I just love music. And I think there's so much good music, and I will really listen to anything. And it's just, I love music. Never Get Over Me. Whew. This one, I felt like went all of the places I wanted it to without it feeling too predictable. Like, the melodies were exactly where I thought they would sit. They were everything. The vocals were where I thought the instruments, everything. And I feel like she also opened up her voice a lot more on this song, which I wanted from all of this album, but it's clear that she wants the sound rather than the virtuoso of her voice. And I think this one, she really opens it up. She could have done more. Oh, and I would have loved it if she had done more, but she didn't, and that's okay. So, it happens. Okay, so we've got 2 more songs left, and I think these 2 are arguably the 2 most popular, other than from the second half of the album, I'll say. And Bad Thing Bunny Hop, really great. It reminds me of another song, not one of hers. It's specifically another song out in the world, but I can't pinpoint what it is. So if anyone is like, this is what it reminds me of, my cousin was like, oh, this one reminds me of Maggots for Brains a little bit by Olivia Rodrigo, and I can hear that, but there's another one more specifically than that one that it reminds me of, like, very closely. Very fun. I loved the acoustic drum set on this one. It's a different sound for Ariana Grande. I feel like this one is a little more rock heavy than her usual like R&B pop kind of vibe, because that's really what fits her voice. But her first foray into like a pop rock sounding pop, like a synth pop rock, it's interesting and was really fun, and I think a lot of people liked it. I have mixed feelings on the autotune though, because it creates a very specific sound, which is why she put the autotune on there. Which, let's take a second. Autotune, Lil Wayne uses it. It's meant to create a very specific sound with the voice where it's like robotic. Pitch correction is what artists use to correct the tone and the pitch of their voice. They are different things, and people get that messed up all the time, and it makes me very frustrated. Autotune and pitch correction are different things. They have very different uses. Pitch correction, everybody uses it. Even Ariana Grande, who has an incredible voice. Autotune, people use it for a very specific sound. It's like distortion. People will use that to get a very specific sound out of their voice that they cannot achieve naturally. Anyways, there we go. I have mixed feelings on it because I just love her voice, and I think it could have done without it and been just fine. But, c'est la vie. Then we've got Nowhere Nobody, which I think is my favorite song off this album. It feels like an ending, and to think that she described this album as feral and ended it on such a happy and hopeful note is astounding. I think I saw someone say that online, and that's kind of where I was like, wow, that is so true. Like, she described this as feral, and it's like a hopeful ending, and I just didn't make that connection before because I had forgotten she said she thought this album was very feral of her. It's good. The very beginning melody kind of reminds me of one of the chorus melodies from Honeymoon Avenue, just like for a little blip, and I hear it, and it's such a like round. It's like, if this were to be her last album, that'd be such a funny full circle moment to have her very first song in her discography and her very last song in her discography have a similar melody. I don't think she's going to be done she's going to keep going, but it'd be kind of a fun full circle moment. It is a fun full circle moment for the moment. This might be my favorite song. Yeah, it's my favorite song. I listened to it again in the car, and it's so good. Oh, I love it. And then we've got, the acapella with the vocoder is so good. I love a good vocoder moment. Vocoder is everyone's best friend if they want to create a fun, robotic, synthy sound with their voice. I think that is the best way to go. And this song feels much more settled than the rest of the album, which I appreciate. This is one I will replay a lot. This one has a lot of replay value for me. I love it. Overall, I've said it time and time again, like over and over again this episode, it is a fantastic album. It is great. My favorite song is Nowhere Nobody, and watch on my Instagram for my ranking, because I'm going to do a carousel of it, and I'm going to try some new marketing tactics, get you listening again. But I love Nowhere Nobody. That's my favorite one. I think this is going to do well at the Grammy Awards. I'm cautiously optimistic that it will do well at the Grammy Awards. I don't know that it's a hard year because there's a lot of good music coming out, and I haven't even listened to all of it. That's also part of why I'm doing the Grammy Awards, of like my own Grammy Awards, is so I can listen to everything from this Grammy period and feel like I know what's going on. But yeah, I'm not sure it's the strongest album, so I don't know if it'll win Album of the Year in this Grammy category, but I think if it was any other year with any other set of albums, like if this was next year, I think this one would take the cake, because there's too much good stuff coming out right now that next year is gonna be like, like it's one of those years. But yeah, see you guys next week, and don't forget to subscribe, follow, so you can get the information for the Grammy Awards and for more conversation on pop artists and pop music. Especially, I do indie artist episodes occasionally. I do lots and lots of things. I'm just happy to listen to music and to talk about it, and make sure you're following along for that and all that good stuff, and I will see you guys next week.